to share some co-hosting. Good morning, everybody,
Co-host.
and we are here to wake and bake and bong rips with Darren and D420K on his channel on YouTube. So welcome, everybody, and we have a whole bunch of people here. We got Johnny B, we got Drake, we got Lemon Hoko in the house. So say hello, Lemon. How are you? Introduce yourself.
Good morning, guys. Lemon Hoko Genetics here. Just sitting back, getting stoned with my friends.
Welcome, welcome. And
Yes.
where are you turning in from today, Lemon?
From Tacoma, Washington area. Been up here almost all my life. Medical. Started the medical scene when it first became medical. I think I joined, 2007. So about 7 years, 6 years after became medical in our state.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to have a welcome, awesome Washington person in the house. Darren, do you want to go ahead and welcome everybody? It looks like you're getting ready to do your thing.
Absolutely. Let's do a bong rip and have some brunch, right? Bong rips for brunch. We got a new guest on here, Lemon. Thanks for coming in. It's muchly appreciated. You guys were talking about genetics and stuff like that, and we're talking about doing a show for New Year's on Terrace Channel. We're switching it all up between all our channels and getting everybody some airtime and support time and get our numbers up and that sort of stuff. And the more support, the better. So we're just going to mix it all up between our channels and do these things with seed planting on New Year's and doing a weekly show on how that stuff's going to progress. And I just caught the tail end of that conversation you guys were going on, and it sounded awesome. You know, everybody doing it, and then following each week the progress of that seed from here to finished, each one of us doing it our own ways, and maybe one of us has a different way of doing it that the others aren't, that you can visibly see. Like just talking with, and we'll jump right into some of this right now because I just want to. It's on my brain. Is the leaf picking, and that's one thing that I've really been stuck on for a long time. And what it did is it brought a breath of fresh, common sense, old school ways of air breath back into the growing scene, because our friend Lemon here, he doesn't pick the leaves. He doesn't leaf pick and strip them like we strip them. Like you guys have seen my Instagram, you've seen Tribal's Instagram and stuff, and there's always some new thing to do and other texts and everything like that. But what I'm really trying to get down to is the simplest ways are the most rewarding ways. So thanks for that breath of fresh air, brother. And bong rip, mother lovers, let's do this.
Right on. Let me interject my thought on that. If stripping works for you, and it has been, I think everybody finds their own little way of doing things, and our plant is just it's so wonderful. It will alter the way it grows for your growing style. It doesn't mean that you have to alter a lot of things that you do. All you have to do is read the plant and try to give it what it needs at that time. And the more in tune you are with that one individual plant or strain, the more successful you'll be all the way around, I think. But it's really important that everybody develops their own little style with their plants, because what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. I mean, I've seen a lot of that.
Definitely. And I mean, if you can be supplementing a ton of CO2 and stuff, as we've heard, you can make it work for doing these really vigorous leaf strips. But we did kind of come down to the point of why, if you don't need to. But at the same page, whatever works for everyone works, right? So we're just trying to do our best to figure out kind of what works the most efficiently and where the plants are happiest, and kind of how we can get those most diverse cannabinoid and terpene profiles from our plants and keep everyone happy. And I also wanted to interject myself, there may be some canning coming up, because D has been going hard into the canning recently, and he's been inspiring a couple of us to get some books and go down the path. So he was pretty pumped up the other day when we were talking. So we may have some of that coming down the line.
Got this book here. I got this one, and then Kathy got it, and now Drake has ordered it. And we're gonna do some shows on that. We're just gonna show what we're doing. We're gonna get some recipes together, do them together, do different ones, but we're gonna do it together and bong rip the fucking hell out of it at the same time while we're doing it, right? So the other part with what Lemon was saying is there's a lot of people that are out there that are set in their ways of growing. And if you're not open to learning and that sort of stuff, you're kind of holding, you're not kind of, you're holding yourself back big time for sure. So if you're willing to actually listen and take some stuff in, you've got it beat, because you can pick and choose different things. Like it's like those UFC fighters that got like 5 or 6 real good signature moves that they can explode with and fucking get every time. Well, we've each got our signature moves and stuff as well. And the leaf picking and that, it makes sense for per strain and what works best for whoever's doing it. And that's definitely what we need to put across, is everybody is different and has a method, but we can respect each other's methods and take some of them with us instead of being closed-minded. Like a lot of people are. Like, I know you can't walk in, you walk into some rooms, and we actually talked about this the other day, Lemon. You walk in the room and you can feel just on your face, the smell, the texture, the temperature, everything in that room. You can fucking tell what's going on and what's wrong with that room. But you got to find a gentle way of putting it to the person saying, instead of going in going, holy fuck, man, is it ever fucking hot in here? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to fucking kill these things, or you got to do this. We got to find a nice way of doing it without offending the grower, because so many growers are actually very sensitive. You can't walk into someone's room and say that what's wrong and have them not go, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you?
Well, that's their babies. Those are their baby girls, right? They don't want to hear that they're maybe not giving them the love they need. So we just got to be very soft-footed, light-footed with everything, and just, coax it in, and just, don't teach people and don't give people pointers when they're not asking. Don't go out of your way to fucking interject things when they don't want them, because then it's going to be taken offensively and you're going to look like a dickhead instead of someone that's trying to help. So you have to have that happy medium. And for things even like defoliating and plucking leaves, I'm sure almost everyone can agree, we don't want to have leaves that are drooping down and touching the soil and possibly a vector for certain viruses and illnesses. So, I mean, we're going to remove a little bit here and there, and you want a bit of airflow. So you need to have some supplemental airflow. The less airflow you have, maybe the more picking you're going to need to do for your environment, but there's going to be a synergy. There's going to be a nice mesh in the middle.
There was 2 points that Lemon pointed out on the bottoms of the plants, because I am a firm believer in keeping the base of the plant nice and clean, no bushes at the base and everything like that near the soil, because that to me is where, just in my head of my own common sense, is where that's where the bugs are going to start, and that's where I'm going to so I'm going to eliminate that area right away. But then Lemon pointed out that secondary stage of leaves, well, those are the leaves that are going to get the bugs now. And these ones, if you're going to get them, these ones are your precursor of, oh, I can see something going on with this there. And that's such a good point. It just went like a light bulb goes off. It's like, of course, like, it just makes sense. Common sense is kind of key in a lot of this stuff as well.
All of it, I think we're all talking about balance, right? We're all basically, that's what we're trying to talk about is the balance of the plant. And when you mentioned about walking into a room and sensing there's a problem with someone's grow, or maybe even your own grow, what I notice, the first sense that I get, because I look at all the new growth first, that to me is the indicator of is there a problem going on? The old growth, there might be problems, but that you can evaluate it at a different level, because that's the old growth. It's going to deteriorate anyway over time. But the new growth is where it's really important. You got the color aspect, the leaf shape and the leaf formation coming out of the tops of the new growth. That's so important, because when you start having a pH balance and you get a pH lockup, that's where you're going to start seeing it right off the top of the growth. And a lot of people call it pineapple topping or pineappling. I'm sure you guys heard of that terminology before for pH imbalance. And, we all talk about pH. Most of the moderate to the good growers got a good grasp on containing or maintaining their pH. But a lot of the new growers, that's where they struggle. They don't understand that pH is like the door for their food, right? If you don't have it right, the plant can't absorb any of the nutrients that you're giving it. It chokes it off. It's such an important factor in how a young plant will react to its food. So if everything's in balance, you're going to see real positive growth. You're going to see a dark green, vigorous top coming out of each of the nodes. And that's really important to key on is the new growth, in my opinion.
Awesome. What's your happy spot for pH during your veg during your bud cycle?
I try. My happy spot has always been between 6.3 and 6.6. It's always been that number. I can go down to, as low as 5.8, and it slows a little bit down. I can go as high as 7, but I don't like to ride that high. But it's always been 6.5. If I'm right at 6.5, everything's working right for me.
And
I've
that's
been
soil
actually
or
looking
on
at
it?
pH lately. pH has been a huge issue for me because I had gauges fail and I saw the lockout in my last videos and stuff. But when I've been growing with cocoa and with LEDs, and I've gone down this rabbit hole with pH, and I've been actually pHing now a lot higher than I ever have, with about 6.7. And I can tell you, I can definitely see a difference in my plants. They're healthier. I'm getting vigorous growth. And we've been talking a lot about temperature fluctuations and stuff with LEDs. And this beginning of this growth here now, I've been keeping my temperatures exactly the same night and day. And I'm just talk a little bit more about that. But when we went back into trimming and leaf trimming and stuff, a lot of people don't know, but when I do all my leaf trimming, and a lot of people do their leaf trim so they can actually determine their colas and where they're going to have their top colas, or how their branches are going to perform, which ones are going to be dead and might actually maybe not give you more denser buds on the outside, like I would say. So I do a lot of trimming on the insides, but then concentrate. So trimming is a key thing in growing too, guys. I love that you talk about trimming. And I've done the same thing where I've done plants where I haven't trimmed at all and ones I have trimmed. And really the difference is not really a difference. You're both getting the same amount of yield in a sense. You're getting a little bit more growth with the one that you haven't trimmed. I see all kinds of different things. So it's really good to experiment. That's the best thing about growing your own, you guys. You got to experiment.
Definitely. And a couple points here. So for pH too, like a difference from like 6.1 to 6.2 or 6.0 doesn't seem like much to us, but as 710 Canuck, check him out, was nice enough to let us know. And I might butcher this, so we'll have to refer to the man. But it's 6.1 times 10 to the power of 10 or something along those lines. And then 6.2 times 10 to the power of 10. So that, 0.1 to 0.2 turns into like 100,000 or a million points difference in a sense to the plants and to the microbiology. So there's just a wide range that the different microbes work in and thrive in. So, if you go from a 6.2 to a 7.2, that's like night and day. And you're literally going to completely, throw a big curveball in the least into your microbiology. And then in the same context, or sorry, in a slightly different context, but talking about the like LEDs with now the defoliation, these LEDs, especially these new super high power ones, they get a lot more light down to the lower areas. So you don't have to quite do as vicious of a lollipopping or a defoliation from the bottom up that we're generally used to, because we can really get that light output down there. So it's almost like doing yourself a hindrance, shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. So you have to work,
That's what I'm
halfway
seeing.
in between. And then I noticed D was just going to ask Lemon, you in hydro or soil? I know you were talking about this before, but what's your preferred? What are you rolling with?
I'm in soil, but I do a way different style than most people do it. I don't think anybody grows in soil like me. I use soil like a hydro medium, where it's just basically holding the roots for the nutrients to flush on the roots. But it stays hydrated a little bit better than a lot of the hydro media. So that's why I use it, so I don't have to feed and hydrate my plants as often. But speaking of that, when we're talking about pH and soil and hydro, I've grown in both. Excuse my dog; she's going crazy here. She's got a cat in heat running around behind her. But when you have root death, let's say if you have a bug infestation on the top and you controlled it and you got control over it, and all of a sudden you start getting growth again, well, somewhere or another the balance is off, and you're going to have a little bit of root death because the roots can't supply, or you got too much roots for the top of the plant, because you had to, either the bugs killed off some of the plants, or you had to prune some of the plants back because of the bug infestation. So what I found out over the years is the roots by nature, some of them will die out to balance out the top of the plant, what it needs. And when you have that die off in the soil, you're going to have a natural pH change, right? Through decomposition. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. Whenever there's damage on top, you're going to get a slow a rebound down in the bottom. it's all balanced, and you got to expect that. So when you do expect it, you can pre-plan for it and alter how you grow and treat your plants to get through that.
God, all this awesome information. Darren, I think it's about time you need to do some shout outs on that chat and say hello. What's going on out there, chat? What is in the chat going on? How is everybody doing?
Okay, here, let's look at the chat.
Did you get that up there? What's up, Roy boy? How are you? Smoking and puffing strong. What's everybody puffing on out there?
Yeah, what you got? How you hitting it? What are you doing? What's your preferred methods? What's your preferred smoke? Citrus,
Where's 710?
tabs, floral.
Where's Mr.
710 is out with his wifey. He's got to do wifey duties today.
Well, next best.
Important.
Yeah.
You guys got
He was
me
up late
working.
last night. He was over on Eagle Gardens.
Nice. Yeah, he was on Eagle Gardens talking shit with Eagle. That was fun. I went on that one as well. He's a good guy. It was fun.
And I was up late watching it last
Your
night.
boy,
It was a
Roy
great
boy,
interview.
how you doing?
I threw the link out to some other people that you guys all might know. We'll see if we can
Always
get some more
remember
people
to
jump
shake
on.
your bottle when mixing nutrients. Just a tip. Always shake it. Whenever you pick up a bottle, you know what? Like a lot of people don't do it. They just pour, but always give your bottle a shake.
Is it kind of just like shake,
the tip
shake,
of the day,
shake
man.
your booty?
What's
Shake,
going on
shake,
here?
shake
Is
your
it a
booty?
bong rip, mother
Mother
lovers?
lovers. I just said mother lovers.
Let's just
It
let's
is
do
time.
bong rip because this is bong rips for lunch for brunch after all.
It is.
Did all this.
About
It's gonna
time.
snow, so
I
I'm
was beginning to
transplanting,
wonder when you were going to say
working,
that, Darren.
bong ripping.
I did it once already.
Not
Man,
enough, man.
You gotta give Roy.
Right, you're right. Well, we're gonna hit her every 3 minutes on the money for the
Okay,
next.
let's do it.
I got to give Roy Boy a shout out too. Man, he's all over the place. Everywhere
He's a
I
good
go.
guy.
Oh my God, he was one of the first people on my breeder cast that really kind of contributed and started talking, and he's just such a cool dude.
Oh, really? 710 and I and Roy have been hanging out. We used to hang out on Hangouts a long time ago. That's awesome that you guys know each other too. That's so cool.
Oh, I don't. I see him on other sites that I hang out at,
Awesome.
like some conspiracy sites too. That's so cool.
I love it. Bong Rip Ginger says, cheers, Ginger Bug out there. Oh, by the way, I started my Ginger Bug, y'all. Did anybody else start their Ginger Bug?
Not yet. I got a commercial dehumidifier yesterday, so I'm quite excited about that. So I actually got to add more humidity to my room because the fluctuations are dumping down from 59 to 56 up to about 75. That's way too much of a fluctuation inside of the room. So I'm really trying to get that even balance. And what humidity do you run at there, Lemon? What's in your room? Do you have a humidity level you like? Are you high, low humidity? Do you have lots of fluctuations? Been really on the humidity thing lately too.
Temperatures, on and off lights. Give us the lowdown.
I see. My problem is growing in the wintertime because I'm in a garage, a really large garage, and I don't have really good control over my humidity and temperature in the wintertime. It's not very well insulated, and so I got to struggle with that. I got to turn on and off my exhaust fans just to keep in the right humidity range and temperature range. If I have my exhaust fans on too long in the evening or night, it draws the temperature down to about 50. Well, right now it's freezing in our area, so it'll draw my temperature down into 40s and 50 degrees, and it's like growing in a fridge, right? You can't do that. It slows everything down. And here's another point. When temperature drops in your grow area, you're going to notice your plant will uptake your food differently. The pH it changes in the whole chemistry of how your plant eats. And even though your pH is correct in your water and your food, there's something that's missing in the exchange between the plant because of the cold temperature.
at different rates, the stomatas close up quite a bit, right? And they actually will not process in the same context. This is where it'd be great, again, to get 710 in, and we'll have them in a future episode. Maybe we'll just do a little bit talking about how plants work and why you need to get your VPD, vapor pressure deficit, in order, which is the relation to your temperature and your humidity, to have it so that your plants stomata, so for layman's, essentially what the plants need to have open for the plants to be growing nice and happy, have those pumping it at full power. And then you also will find you have higher humidity levels than you would ever think to actually prevent PM. Whereas if your humidity drops, you now might start having issues with it. So there's a whole bunch of cool things that we'll get into that kind of give your head a little bit of spin, take you for a loop. So
there you go. What is VPD?
No,
VPD helps you identify the correct range of temperature and humidity to aim for your grow space. Nice big chart of this here. Really paying attention to VPD and understanding it. It's actually a pretty huge thing. It's new to me too, which is when I talked with Darren about this. Remember I said grow your room at higher humidity, and you swore at me and told me you were going to kill me?
Bullshit.
I'm kidding.
I did swear at you, tell you stop talking because I'm going to hang up on you. That's just
my ideal temperature range is between 75 and 85 degrees for my plants, especially in flower. My ideal humidity range is 45 to 30% humidity in flower. If I can keep those parameters for my area and my plants, it runs almost a perfect cycle for grow. But we all know that we're tied into ambient. See, a lot of people don't know this.
John's looking at the chart. You better get ready.
A lot of people don't know this. There's only so much humidity control we can have in our grows if we don't have a closed environment, if we're not in a sealed room, because we're tied to the ambient temperature and humidity. You got to intake the air, right? So if it's raining and you got high humidity in the air at 80 to 80%, you're going to bring a lot of that into your grow room. So it's just a natural, unless you run dehumidifiers, and that takes a lot of energy and money and noise. You know, I'm not used to using a lot of equipment because of my grow style from the past. We try to do everything as cheap and as quiet as possible, and dehumidifiers were an extra expense. We
I'm running
instead of using dehumidifiers, we use more fans, and we drilled more holes in the wall.
Yeah. Well, here, this will probably take you for a little bit of a loop, Lemon, because you've been doing this for so long and kind of the same page as Darren. But Johnny, what's the highest you've been running your humidity in flower, in late flower?
In late flower, I'll be running around 70%, 68. I used to run my rooms down to 40%, and that would cause powdery mildew. I had good talks about this with a guy from Quest when I would drop my temperatures down to like 68, my humidity down to 40. And he says that's what was causing me powdery mildew, because when you go outside in the fall and it's cold out and you breathe, what happens? Humidity, it falls. And with the low humidity and low temperature, the plants, this is what I was understanding. And that's where I started really looking at it, because once again, old school grower, 18-inch. Well, most of the holes on the side of the houses were 14-inch squirrel fans. We pumping tons of air through those things, vortex fans, moving air like crazy, getting the humidity down, and really chasing it. But sealed rooms became a completely different growing space, right? Because you had to control that growing space. So once again, dropping that humidity and keeping it always around 50% was ideal. That's what I always did run. But the last couple grows, everybody knows I've been running my room VPD, humidity around 72 to 75, and late flowers 64. The last couple of weeks, I went down to about 64% humidity. But I've always kept my temperature between 83 and 86. So I mean, now talking with somebody about static temp and just keeping my temperature right at 86. So this grow here, I'm going to try and have a consistent temperature morning and night around 85, 86, and see how that kind of turns out. And just growing in cocoa this time around and using Medi 1, of course, because that's what I use. And there's another test, right? So see how it'll work out this time. But,
Beautiful.
Bong rip, mother lovers.
Tara, you're such a dork over there.
Bong rip.
Tara's rocking through all the filters, having a blast as she always does. That's fantastic. Love
so
hearing
here's
that.
my room right now. See, 72% humidity, 81 degrees. It's Its temperature's dropping down to 81.
Oh, there we go.
Like
I almost forgot what I was going to touch on there. So thanks for reiterating, Johnny, because I was going to say, for everyone that is listening and thinking of just jacking your humidity up and changing things like this, you have to have full control over your environment before you start doing this. You do not want to just lift your fucking humidity up to 65, 75%, but then have it going from 60 to 80 and back and forth and playing around. The temperature's going up and down. Like, do not do it. Stick with what you're doing. But if you are,
will fucking form.
it will find you and it will flourish.
Here's a question. Here's a question for Johnny. Have you had any issues with bud rot, botrytis?
No.
No.
Well, you know what? My last grow, I had something happen with the tops of the plants that were outside. It was really weird. I talked with about 710. How the top of my buds just kind of died. We thought it could have been caterpillars or something that got in there, but I've only been running a high humidity grow room for the last couple crops, and I have to say, my last one, even though it was my shittiest grow, was the best resin run I ran in my house run. So, and that was due to, of course, pH, what you were talking about there for a while. My gauges failed. pH 4.5 for 3 weeks, killed my plants. Even got rid of the smell, in my opinion. It just didn't taste good. So just kind of, I pulled it off, made hash from it, but
yeah. And with that lemon, you definitely, like, that's why I was kind of reiterating and touching on the fact you need to have full control. You need to have perfect air. Well, not perfect, but, ideal airflow. You need to have, dehumidifiers all over. You need to make sure your environment's pretty well the same in all the areas. So there's not certain spaces that are getting, a really humid kind of environment, right? You need to have that beautiful, beautiful flow. So until that is set up, and I mean, ideally even a sealed room with CO2, a little bit of input, you got the levels up, you've got everything on point, and now you're like, how could I possibly improve things? I think this is where you would kind of implement that. Once you've got everything else dialed in, your grow's going good, and now you're just doing one small thing at a time per each run to see how things are tailored.
You just mentioned that. You know what I just did? I added air to my resins running 24/7 now. Little things that I'm just adding to what you're saying, adding it. I'm separating my dehu water to my other waters now. Really dialing in this next room. That's what we all want to do
with the aeration of the reses. But then I noticed right away with adding pH will go up right away. Bong rip.
Darren got me jealous. He showed his grow room. It looks so awesome. I'm like, damn, I got to work on my grow room, man. I looked.
It's nice and clean, isn't it, Johnny?
I had to clean. Oh yeah, his room was clean. I was like, damn, fuck, I gotta step up my game. Coco's so clean, it's awesome.
Keep your rooms clean.
A lot of it has to do with strains and stuff, but I noticed that when I run a higher humidity and lower temperature in my flower rooms, I have, especially my indica and tighter bud strains, I tend to get bud rot a little bit more. And that's a good test for some of my, that's what I put through some of my genetic testing. If they bud rot, then I kind of eliminate that strain from the breeding. But still, that's where it shows the most, is when I run a higher humidity, a little bit lower temperature, like 65. And that's mostly in the wintertime. I hardly ever get any bud rot from summertime conditions. That's from my experience here.
Shout outs to everybody in the chat. The American one. Avola,
shit.
Remo, Mole Vision. Cheers to all of you as well. Thanks for jumping in and watching, man.
Yeah, for sure. I see so many familiar names. That's so cool to see them in chat.
Yeah. I did just share your Discord in chat. I just shared the link, or the YouTube link in your Discord. And so those of you who don't know, Lemon Hoko has a show later on today, actually, on the Discord. Nice. Do you want to go ahead and talk about it, Lemon?
Yeah, I have a weekly Breeders Cast that we play. We start at 2 p.m. on Sundays, Pacific time. And it's on Discord. Discord's a free app. It was kind of, people always ask me, what is Discord? It was developed mainly for gamers to start with, but they're very cannabis friendly on that platform. But I do have a Discord server, and I welcome everybody that wants to talk cannabis, that loves cannabis, to come on in. I try to create and have a real positive environment. You'll see once you join in, the energy's pretty positive. And it's and weekly.
There's people around the world of all ages, of all walks. I'm learning Discord, y'all. Come find us. Okay, go ahead, Lemon.
And what I try to do is highlight new and young breeders. So you'll probably not see people that are successful like Karma. Well, every once in a while you'll see Pacific Northwest Roots jump in. Kaya, he's a buddy of mine. But I'd like to highlight the young breeders that need a hand to get into the industry, that are doing it correctly, that are testing their strains to make sure that they have stability in their lines, so that the people that are growing the strains or want to purchase their strains can
Need
have a
help? I
little bit
should
more
be.
confidence in growing them out.
How do you test for that? How do you test for stability in the strains?
Well,
Yes, please go deep into it.
it's pretty basic. It's long term. What you got to do is go out there and grow the progeny out. If you make a cross before you sell the seeds, you got to have a good range of growers grow them out in different environments, different situations, different uh, 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 areas of the world. And then you get a general idea of how that strain reacts, and it's all by ratios and percentages. Not everybody's gonna. There's some new growers out there, they'll make mistakes and force your strains into hermaphrodism and stuff like that. But that's going to happen in the real world too. So your strains, my strains, have to make it through that in higher percentage and numbers and percentage and ratios that I'm satisfied with. And I've always set a percentage,
It's cold in here.
and it's always been 15% clean ratios out of all my females, and I think that's even better than what I've noticed in nature. So that's kind of how I judge my strains, and I suggest all new growers or breeders to go out there and test their strains out before they release their seeds out to the public. And I suggest any new growers that want to try to grow out new strains. That's a good platform to start testing out for different new breeders and giving them a hand. Let me put it this way. This is how I started in the business. I mean, way back, I used to test grow for Motor Rebel. I used to test grow for Subcool. I used to test grow for Cali Connection. And this is, because I grew for 30 years before I even test group for them. But because I shared my pictures of my test grows or my regular grows and stuff, they pulled me in as a test grower. And that gave me more aspects, more deeper knowledge of the genetics that were out there and what everybody was working with and how stable they were. So I suggest everybody, if you have a chance to test grow for new breeders, do it. I mean, it's an opportunity. You get free seeds. It teaches you different strains, and you might find a keeper for life. I did a few times.
Yeah. Do you recall the conversation we were having with 710 either yesterday or the day before, where it was either taking the kin and hitting the kin with multiple sisters, or what that conversation was to really get a good initial kind of photo shoot into a large amount of the genetics? I can't exactly remember it, and I may have butchered what it was, but I thought it was something along those lines of taking maybe one of the brothers and hitting it with multiple sisters of the same children, and then being able to see kind of how it interacts with the different progenies and get like a rough estimate. But I don't know if that was it.
Yeah, that's kind of how you do an F generation, Phil generation. You could do it that way. And if you wanted to even open it up even more, you use several males with several sisters. And the more you of the genetic pool you throw into the party, the orgy, the more the expressions you'll see out of the offspring. Okay. And that's basically, as a breeder, you need to know the expressions of everything in your mother plant that you started with. So this is like a test all the way through the filial generations, gives you an idea. You're breaking it up to what that female has in her. So you can predict when you throw a male on her, what will come out in the seedlings, or try to predict by ratios. The genetic game is all a game of ratios, guys. I try to explain it. Here's the best way to explain it. I put it in my chat the other day. Every trait is like playing a game of roulette. Let's say if you wanted to go for high, tall plants, well, you would try to monopolize that wheel with as many tall traits as you can. So you would start off with a high female, a tall female, and you would breed it with another tall male. So that right there would give you the offspring with more genetic markers of being a tall plant. So the next time you want to rotate that roulette wheel and try to breed it, you'll have more markers for tall genes on that genetic wheel. Now, if you wanted to throw in terpenes, now you're dealing with a different genetic wheel, right? So every trait that you're dealing with is like a roulette wheel by itself. Now, when you breed, you're spinning all the wheels at the same time. Okay. And you got to see where those balls land. So what you're trying to do is overload your genetic wheels with the traits that you're trying to breed for. That's what breeding is. It's that simple.
Definitely, yeah. And it kind of in like layman's sense here, I'm kind of seeing it's like, you know, you throw all those balls out when you mix the first ones together, you find the ones you like, then you work on that one specifically for a single thing for each thing. And then if you had another ball you might have taken a liking to, you add that one in once you've already locked in the single thing. You kind of come back and then reintroduce and do like a one at a time kind of style, as opposed to trying, I want it to be big and have this profile and be bushy at the same, you know, you're not going to try to do 3 things at once, right? You're thinking do kind of.
Exactly. I call it layering, genetic layering, especially when you have long-term projects. What you try to do is you lock in certain traits. And once you get those traits, you know that wheel, that roulette wheel is dominated by those traits. And every time you spin that wheel, most likely you're going to land on the trait that you're looking for. Now you're going to go for maybe terpenes or yield or flower structure. That's a whole different wheel. So what you're trying to do is overload that wheel at the same time of keeping all this wheel still loaded the way you want. So that's the juggling process in breeding. And what a lot of people are thrown off is there's also recessives and dominants that are playing in this factor too. And dominance pretty much shows you what's going to happen. It's the expression of the plant, and it throws through breeding. It'll be more dominant. And the word dominant means it takes over on the genetic factors and expressions of the offspring. The recessives are different. Just because those traits don't show doesn't mean it's not there. They're hidden in the background. Okay, for instance, an albino hamster breeding to a golden hamster. Well, you might have 8 golden hamsters that come out of that mama golden hamster, but there's recessive albino genes in there. If you breed 2 of those golden hamsters back to each other, you're going to get some albino hamsters out of that recessive, or the recessives coming out double.
And then in the same context, you just now work with the progeny of that, continue them together and start to beef up your ratios, right? Mix another, find the white one, hit it back with the original white one, and then now you'll have a few more and then keep working down. Is that kind of the rough?
Well, as soon as you can pick out your recessive parents and dominant parents, you can predict what the crosses are going to be. The outcome of the cross is a little bit better, especially if, let's say, if you get 2 albinos. If you get 2 albinos out of that 2 recessive crossings, and the grandchildren are 2 albinos, if you cross 2 albinos together, they're both recessive genes. You're going to get pure albinos out of that.
There you go.
And that's how you just with that train of thought. Somebody just asked about my videos about dogs, and yes, I trained dogs for about 25 years. I bred dogs for over 20 years. It was their breed I was involved with is called the Belgian Malinois breed. But when oh shit, I lost my train of thought. But anyways, when you're breeding, when I say you're breeding for like albinism and stuff, that's how you actually breed a purebred dog. Every dog that has been ever bred in this world, every breed of dog there's always been an inbred breeding or a back cross in it, with either from the mother back to the son, or father daughter, or granddaughter back to the grandparent, or progeny back to the grandparent. It's always been an in-cross, and maybe multiple cousins back to cousins and so forth. But it depends on how the lines are developed. And it can't be pure inbreeding. You can't, because then you're multiplying a lot of bad traits also. There always has to be an outcross. If you're going to do long-term IBLs, inbred lines, you have to throw some outcrossing in there to make the lines healthy. That's just, everybody knows that in genetics.
And Lemon, I just shared your Instagram link out there, so hopefully you'll get a whole bunch of new followers. So go ahead and follow Lemon on Instagram, y'all. And Lemon, do you have a website also to throw out there?
No, not anymore. I used to have a site called Green Bean Seeds, but I shut
where
that
are
down.
your seeds sold through then?
Right now, the only way to get my stuff is through my Discord server. It's a safer platform than Instagram.
So directly to you, so they don't have to pay all the markup and all that bullshit. So I appreciate that.
Actually, it's wholesale prices off of Instagram. My seeds go for $100 a pack wholesale, and there's going to be 2 vendors in the next month or so that are going to be having my seeds, and you'll probably see them double the price to the general retail public. So I suggest, if you want to get everything first, right when they're released after testing, before they go to the general public, jump on the Discord server. I drop them and I give a server-wide announcement when they're available. So
Lemon, I need to copy and paste your Discord link in the chat. Is that what I should do?
well, the best way to get on my
What's the best
Discord
way to do that? Yeah.
is to download the app free, and then just send me a friend's request at lemonhoco hashtag 8674. And then as soon as I get that as a friend's request, I'll reply with the invite to the server, and you'll land right in the middle of our server.
Perfect. Thank you for explaining that, because some of us are very new to this Discord thing. Johnny has been fairly new to the Discord thing. I know he's put up a Discord group as well. He's been trying to do that as well.
Johnny B. Grow Room.
And yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
we missed a few dabs, by the
We
way.
did miss a few. Yeah, somebody's yelling bong rips. Everybody's dabs. Everybody's having fun in the chat. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I hope you're having an awesome, happy Friday or Sunday.
This is fun.
I was saying
Happy Friday. Nice job, Tim.
Happy Fried Friday. I did a Fried Friday lab or live.
We've pretty much been Zooming since Friday, so it's all running together.
I love it when we all Zoom together. It's so awesome. I love waking and baking with all my friends. And Darren, it's so nice to see your smile. I love that beard today. It looks really good with the hat. I like it. You're muted, by the way. And we figured out the mic, finally. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? That was pretty cool. That was a fluke too, but it was good.
You have a mic, point them down. Don't point them at your mouth, as fucking weird as that sounds.
Yeah. Don't go under, go over. Yeah.
What are you guys all smoking today?
A little short today. We're going to keep it at an hour. We're going to do it for 20 more minutes. And this breeding talk thing we're doing, I just love it. It's just perfect organic conversation. We usually get into while we're Zooming and getting high anyways. It's sharing some of what we do on a daily basis, really. Lemon's one of the newest in the group, but man, him and Drake, I couldn't get a word in this morning. I didn't even want to, because there was just, the conversation is so interesting. I don't want to interrupt it at the same time. And it's nice that we can share this with y'all. And if you have any questions in there, any more questions, or you want to jump in and be on the show, we're here with us and talk live and share some of your tech, then by all means, if you want to be involved in the planting that seed in January, New Year's or whatever, planting a seed and some seeds and some new genetics or something like that, and being part of that situation too, you're more than welcome to. And follow us.
Yes, I'm super excited to plant New Year's seeds with you all out there. So contact us and DM us, because there are seeds, like people give away seeds all the time. If you guys need some seeds and you really can't afford genetics, like there are people looking for people that will grow, and there are those free seeds out there, and there are lots of people just willing to give you seeds, and there's people even willing to give you plants or clones. So just look and get involved in the community.
Hold on. You're talking my stuff.
Yeah.
Here. I would love to get some seeds out to the community for this little event. I mean, I've got a couple of strains I've been working. I'm kind of backlogged on them. I need to get them out before they start losing germination ratios and stuff. So yeah, I would love to donate some stuff to this project.
You hear that, chat? Out there in the world that watches this afterwards, the live. Johnny B does the same thing. I
was gonna say we were looking for US, and then I was doing Canada. Tara kept trying to hook this up because they don't know, Lemon. Was doing a great seed giveaway. Started last February or January, and every morning on my Instagram, I would give away a free seed, and I gave it out 42 people, which started my Discord group, the Johnny B Grow Room. And I gave out the Hoss, the MLP, which I've now named NL Dog, which is a Northern Light number 5 skunk haze crossed with the Chem Dog for reunion. So Cameron came back. It's a very nice strain. So these are some, you're talking about breeding, and I really want to talk to you because I'm a beginner. I've been kind of breeding now for running my genetics for about 15 years. I've been growing them myself, giving away certain ones. Some people run them. Some people have the Medi Lights. Very well, some good strains that people really like. So was about trying to save that strain that helped me so much, which was Medi Kush, and that was through some seeds that I popped back in 2005. And this one particular strain is what helped me with my condition, which is spinal cord injury. And I've always tried to find a way of trying to be able to get seeds from it. So I started crossing it, and then I want to do a feminized run of it because I still have the same strain now for almost 15 years, 16 years. Yeah, 15 years.
You really need to join my Discord channel, man. I'll set you up.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'll set you up a
I'm
little breeder
actually
section.
excited.
I'll set you up a little breeder section, so you have a little tester section, so you can pass out some testers if you want and stuff like that, and highlight your gear. And it's a really good place to get connected one-on-one with the farmers, and also bring in your Instagram followers. You know, the people. It'll be a lot easier for them to access your gear too. And we don't have a really good Canadian breeder connection on our site, so that would really help.
I'm just learning over here. I think I'm just playing.
Okay, so now we do have Canadian connections, right? We've got our friend Vision Creator, we've got Scabs, we got White Buffalo, we've got several other breeders that we all know. I know Darren knows some other people, and so there's going to be some cool shit going on. You guys all better get over to that Discord. I see.
I'm sorry I had to leave yesterday so quickly because my breakfast was being cooked and I was being served, and I would have met you yesterday, Lemon. So it's really nice to meet you today. I was listening and really paying attention to your talking about breeding and genetics. Something that here's an old G33 strain. Remember the old G33?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I got that. I got the pre-98 Bubba. I got a bunch of old school strains here.
Oh, I've been trying to chase down the pre-98 Bubba for Cassini grown for a little while up here in the Northwest, and it's just been I finally found it, but man, she's hard to find up here. Real quick, everybody in the chat should try to drag a friend in and hit that like button. Thumbs up. Let's support this chat. Support Darren's channel, and we're gonna bring your friends in if they want some really cool free gear, and it'll all support Darren's channel, you know, for the good cause. So let's make it happen.
Tons of information.
Thank you.
Oh, it's supporting each other, man. You know, my Discord channel is going to get pretty live from this too. So we got to, you know, it's a small community. It's getting bigger and bigger, but you know, the good people with the right energy and the right mindset have to keep together on this.
The real sharing is caring community is the real core of this, and there's nobody that's got anything that's holding back anything. We don't do that. Sharing is caring, and we mean it. If any of you need any help with whatever, like shit, there's things we can help you with, probably in a lot of different ways. Even
just being in this culture is like amazing, because I never thought when I was doing it in the 80s, you know, and kind of in the dark, you know, gardening at midnight and hiding from your neighbors and all that. I never thought I would ever meet somebody like Ed Rosenthal, the editor of High Times, or Jack Hare. I never thought I would ever share a joint with a great man like that, right? So look where this journey is taking me. It's just so amazing to be rubbing shoulders with different type of people in this industry that all were kind of nobodies, and then all of a sudden they became, you know, somebody in this industry, and it's really cool to see.
I met Eddie Lepp at Hempfest and didn't even know who he was, and I got to give him some of my super lemon haze rosin. I had no clue. I'm like, I don't know who he is, but I dabbed him out. Hell yeah, it was cool. Afterwards I hear the story, you know, the amazing people you get out at these events and meet people. I met Johnny up there at the 420 event, you know, getting to go there for that amazing thing, and wow, and meet breeder Steve, and we were just talking to him the other night, huh, Johnny? Like, God, it was crazy.
When you say that, Lemon, is quite amazing, like the journey that I've been on and the people I've met and the people that were like were my heroes in the industry and stuff. I got to become friends with, hang out with, good buddies. Why? Because we all have that same passion. We all love that plant. We all adore. We want to share it and get it out there. And from Soma, from Franco, from Don and Aaron DNA. I've met so many people in this industry that I used to read about, and it's amazing how the community can come together and just love what you do. And you know what? The community comes with you with open arms. They just want you to kind of succeed and move forward and share that. And I love what you guys are doing, because sharing is caring. We talk about it all the time, and getting those videos out there and talking about what you're doing is showing your mistakes and showing your lessons and showing how you can move forward and never give up with that growth. Because a lot of people, they fail and they don't, and then they start giving up. But if you don't fail, you're not going to learn. And when you do, there's so many people there to help you so you don't have to fail again. Or if you have any questions, go to all these Discord groups. So there's so many different informations from all the channels and stuff, guys. Just grow your life, you know, start from seed. I always say that. And I can't wait for the 2021 for everybody to be growing their own at home, because it's going to be a COVID year. It's not looking any better down here. We just got a lockdown, basically, Fraser Valley down here where I am. We're not really allowed to leave our house for the next couple of weeks. Major outbreak around me. So I'm just going to be staying at home with my ladies.
Perfect time to grow. I was just going to say, to get at it, to do some educating for yourself, to do a little bit of networking, keep building this community and doing our parts to get, oh, sorry, fucking half dying from my dab there. Holy smokes, that was a good one. Ghost Train Haze squished a little bit. I saw Cam in chat, so I'll say, hey,
nice.
squish nice.
Hey, Cam. Yeah, I seen him as well in there. There's also not just weed. Grow your own veggies, preserve your own gear, get your stuff going. We're going to get going on one of these we've got this book, a few of us now, and we're going to be doing some canning and preserving. I've been doing it and showing it on my Instagram and stuff, and it's all about growing every part of it. And stock up on your own stuff. I can't wait to start my garden next year, because this year I crowded lots of stuff. That's all, but I did wicked on the zucchini and the spaghetti squash and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's just the corn. I didn't really get much. They're little ears. I tried it up here. Up here, the hard highway, we're the first to get the snow and the last to have it up here. So it's
okay. So
cool area.
There's a secret about corn. Did you know that corn needs to be planted in large square blocks if you're going to grow it? You can't grow it one line, and the reason is
I did a 4x8 block.
Okay, because that pollen on top of those heads, you know, each silk is attached to each corn that you eat, so that each one has to be pollinated for each one of those little seeds. That's a seed that you're eating on that corn and cob.
Yeah.
So each one of those silks on top is attached to one of those, and the pollen on the top of that has to fall down and hit those for each one of those little corns to germinate. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool to think
really
about
cool. It. Interesting.
Yeah. And so if you actually take bags and put them over the top, paper bags over the top of your tassels on the top of the corn, it will keep your things it'll keep them germinating better. This is just a little thing you can do in your own backyard garden. Secret.
Oh yeah,
grandmother
mustard
tips, right?
pickles, Wheatus. Mustard Wheatus 207 is some love them mustard pickles too. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, I love them, man.
You were just talking about that, Darren.
Yeah, my ex-father-in-law and very good friend of mine. He's been doing them for years, for as long as I've known him, like in my early 20s. Before I was 20, I knew him. But I had the mustard pickles in my 20s, and oh my goodness, I had 2 jars. I got 3 of them from him this year. I think some came down this weekend with Joanne, and his wife Liz. So I could get some more, but I could eat a jar of those one sitting, like a can of pudding. Like fuck all. It's so good with just a spoon, no crackers, no nothing else, just a jar of that. Oh. So good. Yeah, we got another 8 minutes. We're gonna go. We're gonna shut her down on an hour on the hour here. Johnny, he's always got some good things to say. Thank you for those words and that advice. Very sound advice. Lemon, very good to have you on the panel, and you know, we'd love to be on your panel. We'll jump in and support you as well, and love to have you on this panel and talking on you know, mine, Tara's, Drake's, John, whoever's channel we're doing it on. you know, Johnny's, whoever's, yours. You got a YouTube channel, we'll jump onto yours and start doing some lives on yours and that. Let's just do this stuff, right? It's all about that. And you know, if you want to try probably some incredible genetics on hunting genetics, on trying some new strains, cultivars. Sorry, I just so used to saying strains, but it's you want to do some new ones, hit up Lemon on all of his social media stuff, and we'll get him talking about where you can reach him at on Instagram and
That's awesome.
Discord and all that sort of stuff. And Tara, we're going to do a big seed planting on New Year's. And I don't know if
Cheers to everyone out there, Darren. I love for you doing this today. Thank you for bringing everybody today together, and thank you for this awesome invitation.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for jumping in, Tara. Appreciate it as well. So, you know, let's go with let's start with Tara. And where can you reach Tara at and find her and follow her and give her a thumbs up and a bunch of likes?
Come follow me at Tara Lee Live on Instagram and YouTube, you all. And definitely DM me if you're interested in being on any one of these panels. We would love to meet you and hang out with you. We wake and bake, and we have 420s private all the time and hang off offline. We love to get to know people a little bit before we go live with people. It helps you also kind of work together as a live. You kind of get along a little bit better, and also gets you a little bit more comfortable. So don't worry, we won't just throw you to the wolves if you want to come hang out. So thanks again for hanging out with us all again. You can find us again, Tara Lee Live. Thanks, y'all.
Can I say something real quick? You don't have to be a pro at growing to hang out here. Matter of fact, if you're new growing, that's even better, because then you can ask questions live here with us. And as a old grower, I never stop learning. I learned from some of the best growers in the world, and I learned from some of the worst growers in the world. You can learn from everybody. So I always say, if you want to get involved, all you got to do is pop in and get involved.
Where can they find you at on your social medias, Lemon?
Basically on Instagram. That's the best way of connecting, and then I kind of divert everybody from there to Discord, and that's actually the best way, because I'm pretty active on Discord.
And they can ask you a lot of questions, whatever. There's different groups or different panels or different categories you can talk in, and you got that all set up there like that? Or?
Yeah. Wait till you jump in there and see it, Darren. You're going to be pretty impressed. There's a whole lot of information there.
Nice.
And remember, also Instagram and Discord both work on computer and phones now, so you both should be able to get people that say that I don't have a phone or I don't have a computer. Well, now they should both be able to work. So if you're having trouble, get a hold of one of us, and maybe some of us can walk you through it that know how to do it.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got like half your chat people, or a lot of people. I see a big high amount of names here that are my mods on my Discord channel. So they're really familiar with the channel. They have a lot of information at their fingertips, and these guys are awesome too. They share a lot of good information.
And if we don't get back to you right away and everything, it's not because we're being assholes. It's just because I don't know how to use some of this stuff still. Like I'm still learning it, so it's bear with us. And we do get a lot of messages daily and that sort of thing. And just ask again. Please be patient. Don't get all aggro on us and be mad that we're not answering you right away, because it happens. It's an honest. Yeah, smoke a bowl and try again, because we will get back to you eventually. You know, Johnny, where do we find you, mister?
You know, you guys, you can find me on my
Johnny's
YouTube.
biggest problem. Sorry, Johnny has a lot of that going on. People get mad at him. Hey, why don't you answer my question? He gets fucking hundreds of messages. Like, it's just
300 to 500 messages a day. Sometimes it's.
You know what, Johnny? You need to explain to people, because people don't understand. Like when you post a video, and I send a heart to you, that puts another comment farther down. So people's comments go farther and farther, and that's why you miss people. Huh, Johnny?
I know some of those are quite, but you know what? The best thing is, you know what? You guys can just find me on my YouTube, my Instagram. You can direct message me. You can call me, whatever. I'm pretty much out there. Google my name, John Burfello. Grow your own, guys. That's what the best thing is about this. And for me, it's your medicine. And what helps me tick every day. And if you don't know me, you'll get to know me. So
Definitely will get to know him for
yeah,
sure.
grow your own, guys.
Mr. Drake, where can we find you, sir?
Well, you'll always find me over helping Tara out at the Tara Lee Live YouTube channel. But I'm trying to be a little more active on the Drake KO4 Instagram page now that harvest is over and we have a little more time to be active and give you some updates on what's going on. And I'm pretty active over on Facebook at Drake Cossack. So wherever you want, I'm there. Feel free to reach out.
Right on. Well, we got one more minute, guys. And I'd just like to say thanks to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate it. Everybody stopping in and joining us for a bong rip for brunch. And let's end this on a bong rip. And we're going to shut her down. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Always great to see you guys on a Safety Sunday.
Do the old cold start. Just love the old cold start. Bong rip, mother lovers.
Bong rip, mother
And a
lovers.
fucking slice. Always.
Peace.
Have a safe day, guys.
Cheers, everybody.